All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do they? They don't.
Some of them are still actually trying to let Joe Biden off the hook here. Look, we all know, any reasonable person, any child can see what a catastrophe this is in Afghanistan. And Joe Biden is getting it wrong in big ways and small. First, he says there is no al-Qaeda anymore in Afghanistan. Then he says, no problem, anybody can get to the airport. What else? Oh, our allies are so impressed with the job that we're doing. He is making mistakes and or lying every step of the way. Yet there are quarters in the media saying that, no, it's you pesky conservative media types who are overplaying this.
Way over the top and unconnected to a perspective on the issue from the beginning.
I agree, it's been over the top. I think that we also see why it was so hard for presidents in the past to pull out of Afghanistan. They were afraid of exactly this kind of press overreaction.
The news media's complete inability to process what's actually happening in that. The news media's feigned naivete about, oh, we've got him in this huge contradiction with himself.
Well, look, we like to win wars, okay? Fair enough, fair enough. Vanity Fair says that the right trying to weaponize, we're weaponizing the issue to get ahead in 2022. Inside that story, let's read it, please. Some of the political attacks from the GOP have been dishonest, unfairly laying blame for the chaotic conclusion to the 20-year war on Biden, while ignoring the role his predecessors, including Republicans Trump and George W. Bush, played in getting us there. Well, we talked about that certainly in the A block, especially George W. Bush, but you can't put this on Donald Trump. This is Joe Biden's show, and we're seeing very vividly that he's not up to handling it. As I mentioned, the fundamental mistakes that he is making every step of the way. It doesn't surprise me. The man has been caught lying in public so many times throughout his career. When he first made it big on the national stage, 1987, when he was running for president, he lied incessantly and had to drop out of the campaign because of lying. And when he started his most recent campaign for president, this time around, in 2019, his very announcement was all based on a lie.
Charlottesville is also home to a defining moment for this nation in the last few years. It was there on August of 2017 we saw Klansmen and white supremacists and neo-Nazis come out in the open. That's when we heard the words of the President of the United States that stunned the world and shocked the conscience of this nation. He said there were, quote, some very fine people on both sides. Very fine people on both sides? With those words, the President of the United States assigned a moral equivalence between those spreading hate and those with the courage to stand against it. And in that moment, I knew the threat to this nation was unlike any I had ever seen in my lifetime.
Whoa, it gives you chills, doesn't it? Well, he was lying. He was lying about, by the way, he touched on barely any issues. Take a look at what he touched on in this campaign announcement, which was based on a lie. Equality, Charlottesville, white supremacy, racism, and Trump. That's all he talked about. Now, about good people on both sides, you know the truth about that, right? If you don't, here it is.
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
Totally true. You can be a very fine person and be for the preservation of Civil War statues in the South. You can also be a very fine person and think that they're somehow offensive and then should be dismantled. But he expressly said the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists should be condemned. Joe Biden's entire campaign is based on a lie. Therefore, his entire presidency is based on a lie. After all, he was elected, though, right? Take a look at this, and I thought this is remarkable. So Joe Biden spoke about those four issues This is what Donald Trump spoke about when he launched his campaign for the presidency. Substantive issue after substantive issue. And you can go through it. You may not like how he said, what he said, but this was a campaign of substance based on the issues, and Joe Biden can't make the same claim. All right, now this.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Black lives matter, not the way the Black Lives Matter movement says. They only care when a black life is taken by a white cop. No, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, including the life of 14-year-old Jesse Everett, shot and killed after pulling into a gas station Saturday afternoon in Burlington County, New Jersey. Police say Everett arrived at the gas station in a car that had been reported stolen earlier in the day. Shortly after he pulled into the gas station, another car came in. A man exited the passenger side, approached the vehicle that Everett was on, and shot him in the head. He was airlifted to a nearby hospital and pronounced dead. 2 others inside the car with Everett were not harmed. No arrests have been made. The family has created a GoFundMe page to help during this time of need. Jesse Everett, just 14 years old. We'll be right back.